In the 10th episode of the 3rd season, it is possible that the truth about how the people living in the town might liberate themselves from the terrifying monsters will eventually be revealed. MGM's much talked about horror series has no shortage of mysteries and disclosures that were unpacked in the plot of from seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 dialed it up even further when one of the locals, Tabitha, managed to flee the town, but only suddenly returned without answers. This brought the level of mystery and revelation to an even higher level. Tabitha has a vision that strongly links her to Victor's mother. Fatima's bogus pregnancy gets worse. Boyd faces a terrible truth about his health that could damage his future, and Tabitha receives a vision that sets the stage for an emotional ending that could change the show forever. All of these events take place in the penultimate episode of the series. Fatima's unborn kid appears to be at the center of both the mystery and the revelation that are about to be discovered in the finale of Season 3, which has a lot of ground to cover. The preview suggests that this child is at the center of both of these things. Throughout the entirety of Season 3, Fatima has been plagued by the complications that are associated with her pregnancy. These complications include a yearning for rotten food, the occurrence of odd visions, and the unintentional death of Tilly after she has attempted to assist her. The trailer for the 3rd season shows Fatima wailing in agony after being kidnapped by Elgin and taken to a subterranean cellar. It is presumed that she is giving birth to the creature that is contained within her. According to the leaks that were taken from a post that was made by a user uMaximuDaxman934 on the From subreddit r/From series, Fatima's kid turns out to be a younger version of a reborn Smiley, which was one of the creatures of the night that Boyd killed in Season 2. This disturbing revelation reveals that the monsters can be reincarnated even after they have been destroyed, which makes them much more dangerous to the people who live in Fromville. There is no way to know for certain whether Fatima is still alive after giving birth to Smiley. Nonetheless, the fact that another scene depicts creatures around Smiley after she was born is not good news for her. Boyd's symptoms from his Parkinson's disease had resurfaced, and it was not looking good for him because they were becoming worse. This information was revealed in episode 9 of Season 3, which was the 4th season. Boyd, who is portrayed by Harold Perrineau, who is also the primary actor in From Season 3, is seen in the teaser having a conversation with the ghost of Father Cautry while he is on the premises of his home. He tells the ghost, "You need to decide right now who you are." Boyd's inner self may be the only one who is communicating with him, warning him that he must once more assume the role of a hero in order to save the town. There is a strong probability that this happens. There is a possibility that he is trying to convince himself that his sacrifice might be necessary in order to save Fatima. There is more film of Boyd that shows him removing tools from the tool shed. It is possible that this is his method of opening the concealed hatch that is located inside the basement, which is where Elgin had trapped Fatima. Not only does this lend credence to the tape that shows Boyd searching for someone underneath, but it also suggests that he might have been able to find a method to open it and save Fatima from Smiley's resurrection and the creatures who gathered beside him. It is possible that the leader of Fromville would end up killing himself or allowing himself to be a prisoner of the monsters in order to free Fatima and leave the inhabitants alone. This is despite the fact that the plot leaks from the subreddit did not say anything about Boyd. After touching Victor in From Season 3, Episode 9, Tabitha was shaken because she saw visions of the events that took place before and after his mother's Miranda death at the hands of Smiley. These visions occurred after Tabitha had touched Victor. According to the visions, Tabitha had the impression that she was present during Miranda's passing, which leads one to believe that she is a reborn form of Victor's late mother. During the trailer, Tabitha is seen working with Jade, another resident of the town who has been having strange visions, inside Victor's truck. Jade has been experiencing these images. Following this, the two individuals proceed to the bottle tree in the faraway distance, where Tabitha waits for something to materialize while Jade plays a violin in the background. In the same way that the violin is significant in rekindling memories for the people of the village, this may be Jade's way of allowing Tabitha to access memories that are buried deep within her, memories that could either corroborate or disprove the rumors that she is connected to Miranda. A plot leak from the same subreddit suggested that Jim, Tabitha's husband, will be killed by one of the creatures known as the Man in Yellow. This is despite the fact that the trailer did not show much video of Jim. One thing that makes Jim's death stand out from others is the fact that the creature that killed him did it during the day. This is a rare occurrence because the creatures are only known to emerge during the night. This unexpected discovery has the potential to completely transform the lives of the people living in Fromville. It is anticipated that the presence of the animals during the day will restrict their mobility, which may have an impact on their day-to-day supply runs and resource hoarding abilities. After it was revealed in Season 2 that Tabitha had escaped the town, the stakes were raised. However, when she was brought back to the village in Season 3, the possibilities of the inhabitants fleeing the town were reduced. Although it is impossible to predict how the people of Fromville will manage to flee the town, the path of the plot indicates that Jade and Tabitha are getting closer and closer to the reveal. However, Tabitha's efforts to find the truth could be delayed as a result of Jim's apparent death, which could explain why the Man in Yellow targeted her husband rather than anybody else. The mystery that surrounds the town and the reason why no one has been able to safely escape has continued to serve as the anchor that keeps fans riveted to the screen, and there is a good likelihood that this story element will not be resolved in the third season of From. During an interview with CBR, one of the show's producers, Michael Mahoney, even hinted that the series might continue beyond 3 seasons. He even said that there might be a 4th season, although this would be contingent on MGM's consent. In general, the conclusion of the 3rd season has the potential to provide some answers to the overarching mystery. These answers might include the stories of what happened to the children who were sacrificed, the origins of the animals, and the ways in which ideas such as reincarnation and time travel are connected to the larger scheme of things. This coming Sunday, November 24th, at midnight Pacific Time, the 10th episode of Season 3 will be available to view on MGM. The terrible course of events that befell Victor's mother was initially disclosed in the 3rd season. Nevertheless, the conclusion of the 9th episode of the 3rd season fully confirms the manner in which she passed away. The 8th episode of the 2nd season of From is comprised of a sequence of flashbacks that explain what occurred to the town when Victor was a youngster. Victor would go on to become the sole person to survive a massacre that was carried out by the monsters. According to what Victor could recall, his mother took him and his sister to the root cellar in order to hide from Christopher. When Victor awoke the following morning, he discovered that the entire town had been affected by the tragedy. This included his mother, Miranda, as well as his sister, Eloise. The specific circumstances of Miranda's passing were not apparent, despite the fact that Victor disclosed that he discovered the dead body of his mother close to From's bottle tree in the distance. In the 9th episode of the 3rd season of From, Victor finally remembers the truth about Christopher's chat with the boy in white. As a result, he starts to feel responsible for his mother's death, and he goes back to the root cellar, which was the last place he saw her alive. Tabitha and Julie are able to locate him there and offer him solace, but as Tabitha enters the root cellar and embraces Victor, she unexpectedly begins to get visions of the manner in which Miranda passed away. Beginning at the conclusion of the 9th episode of the 3rd season, Tabitha's visions become increasingly intense as she witnesses the passing of Victor's mother and the events that led up to her passing. Young Victor informed Miranda about the message that the boy in white had sent to Christopher concerning the children and the tree in the distance. Miranda made the decision to take on the responsibility of delivering the message because Christopher refused to listen to her. The reason that Miranda felt the need to conceal her children from Christopher in particular is still not entirely obvious nonetheless. Tabitha's vision reveals that Miranda placed Victor and Eloise in the root cellar, kissed them farewell, and then attempted to flee to the bottle tree that was located a considerable distance away. On the other hand, once she arrived at the tree, Miranda was pursued and assaulted by the smiley creature, who was the monster that played the role of From, and was eliminated by Boyd in the second season. Miranda was never able to reach the lighthouse and fulfill the boy in white's aspirations for Christopher to save the children, because the smiley creature murdered her and left her body there for Victor to locate after the carnage. Victor was the one who discovered her body. Miranda's death was confirmed to have been caused by the monsters beginning with the 9th episode of the 3rd season, despite the fact that the thought that she was concealing the children from Christopher suggested that he might have been the one who killed her. Tabitha's vision of Miranda's passing appears to provide further evidence that this community is characterized by a cyclical nature. The parallels between Tabitha and Miranda have been well established throughout the entirety of the 3rd season of From. These similarities include their love for Joni Mitchell's song Blue, the fact that they bestowed the identical bracelet upon Jim and Henry, the fact that they had a daughter and a son, and the fact that they were chosen to save From's children. In the present moment, Tabitha is experiencing images of Miranda herself, and the peculiar emotions she experienced when she entered the root cellar and hugged Victor may be an indication that a portion of Miranda resides within her. Furthermore, rather than merely being a vision, From portrays Tabitha's experience of Miranda's death as being more akin to a recollection. Jim also reveals himself to be a near mirror of a younger Henry during their encounter together at the pub in the 8th episode of the 3rd season of From. Henry, who is younger at the time, gives Miranda advice to avoid making the same mistakes that he did with Miranda. In a way that is reminiscent of Miranda and Henry, it seems as if the town of From has molded Tabitha and Jim into mimics of them. Nevertheless, this time around, the Matthews family is able to get insight into the mistakes that Victor's parents made, which may eventually allow them to fulfill all of their duties in the process of saving the children.